You need to get back and start slapping some people around.
It's a good way to describe what we're doing.
Yeah. When these dads meet world, watching Boy Meets World. We grew up on the show, now we have kids and host a podcast. We watch each episode and then share our thoughts and grades. When these dads meet world.
They want you to take the roles.
They do want you to take the roles, and good-looking people, we are back. We have been on a bit of a hiatus due to season ending, due to some personal stuff, and honestly, we're both really tired.
Amen.
And we're both kind of recovering from a little bit of sicknesses, so I'm going to have to cough at least 7 more times before we get going too far. But Brett, how are you? What do you want to talk about?
Whew. I am tired. I've been we've been off for a few weeks here. Good looking people, I'll tell you, I am tired because I've been full-time caretaker. My wife had surgery in the interim, and it was pretty big surgery. She's doing well. So good looking people, she's doing very well. She's on the mend. She's about to go back to work part-time in a couple days. And I have been starting to instruct our 15-and-a-half-year-old in how to drive. So I am completely exhausted from just those two things.
Fair.
And we've already had our first accident. Thankfully, it was just a mirror. It was just a mirror. It's been handled. We didn't have to involve insurance. Just, a little money changing hands. They were able to fix it on their own. I got a mirror to replace ours. Just got a little too close to a parked car.
Yeah, that happens.
Yep, it does. So, but all kudos to Toby. He was not scared off from driving. He was ready to hop back in and do some more driving afterwards. It didn't freak him out to the point where he had to be done. So good on him for that. Tyler, how about you? What have you been doing in the interim that we've our hiatus we took?
Well, I've been doing a lot of work on the weekends, so have not been able to do much as far as recording because either I'm literally doing the work stuff. I have been very busy on that front, and also in general, just having sick children. I swear one of them has something every couple of days, and it's always something different somehow, and we're dealing with sicknesses too, so it's been so much fun in our household. And to top it off, my lovely sister, who has been on the podcast before and we'll have to have come back again, she decided that she wanted to move, and unfortunately where she's moving to cannot have cats, so we're fostering until she is able to get her house made. So we are dealing with that. Brett got to hear the lovely sounds of one of the cats telling my cat, "Back off me, bro." Like, my cat is really like friendly and personable, like if you were to see him out and about, he'll run away from you. But inside our house, if you're sitting down, he's coming straight to you. He's letting you know, this is my house. I'm letting you be here. And if I don't want you here, I will let you know. And so these cats have been in our house, and I'm trying to do what the cat gurus say, which is you give them space. You don't let them come face to face right away. Like, let them, have time away from each other, get them in different rooms, let them smell each other, and eventually interact with each other. But yeah, so we're allowing them to kind of see each other, interact a little bit, and Brett got to hear a lovely sound of the cat being like, "No, get away from me!"
That's exactly what it sounded like, except for a lot more.
And my
yowls.
cat is like, "But I want to say hello." Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, when we introduced our dog to our cat, we tried to keep them separate as long as we could, but then one of them got out, and so they ended up interacting with each other, and just the dog learned enough to go, I'm gonna let that cat have space, and then within a week they were snuggling beside each other. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with these two, but they're hiding cats, so part of it is that they're gonna go hide, and they'll eventually come out, and maybe they'll interact with our very friendly cat. So
Maybe.
yeah, I will say it's really fun trying to help a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old understand cats.
Yeah.
Those weird things you don't think you're gonna have to deal with as a parent. So, hey Brett, let's talk about something else that you don't expect to deal with as a parent. Kids getting engaged after graduating high school.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a bit here. Good looking people, we're starting season 6 this week with His Answer, season 6, episode 1, wherein Cory deals with the shock of Topanga's proposal. Because remember, we ended last season on a cliffhanger. He accepts, but a less than positive reaction from his parents prompts them to sneak off to elope, while Jack and Eric get a new roommate named Rachel, who they immediately start competing for. This episode was written by Bob Tischler, directed by Jeff McCracken, originally aired on September 25th, 1998. This is a 4-month gap from last episode. That's right. Back in the day, we had to wait 4 months for the answer to Cory, Will You Marry Me? Currently enjoys an IMDb rating of 8.0, which is a full 0.7 points lower than Graduation.
Of course it was. Could you
And,
imagine, Brett, though, if because we kept having a bit of a decline the past season, if they had said the ratings are way too low, we can't have the show again, and they canceled it without the answer of did Cory say yes?
I don't think anyone would be surprised at the answer, though. Everyone would just assume he said yes.
Yeah.
I mean, people would be upset that they ended on the cliffhanger, but it wouldn't be one of those ones that would be genuinely like, did he say yes or no? This does rank 4th as far as IMDb ratings. This is 4th place on IMDb ratings in the season.
I mean, they could have one of them get amnesia and them trying to remind them who they are the whole episode.
Oh, they could. Well, let's take a look at our Nielsen numbers. Our season finale, Graduation, from season 5 pulled in an 11.83. Now, after 4 months off and people wanting to know, what did Cory say? Tyler, how do you think we start off season 6?
Oh boy. I mean, the Bulls are no longer really a thing anymore. The world's a darker place.
Fall of 1998.
John Elway just won a Super Bowl. I mean, I feel like first episode after a big cliffhanger has to have some good ratings, and I want to say that they went back to a better time slot too. So I gotta assume we're at least like, I don't know, 13.
Not bad. 13.06.
Nice.
Yes, 13.06 million people tuned in to see what Cory says. So, Tyler, I turn the steering wheel over to you for this puppy tonight.
Previously on Boy Meets World.
If you can't wait to see why thy face looks like this.
We're having a baby. You're having a baby? I'm retiring. What do you mean by that? Mr. Phoenix said I should only go to Yale unless I have a really good reason. Well, there isn't any good reason. Actually, there is.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, we start the episode in the auditorium, showing again that Topanga had asked Cory to marry him, and now he's
Mhm.
sitting there stunned, and Topanga wants an answer.
And everyone
Parent-
else is gone.
Yeah, everyone else is gone. Brett, I know that you didn't participate in a traditional high school graduation, but
No,
you've
I had a
been to
college
enough
graduation.
you did a college graduation. You know that you don't just sit there and people aren't just going to be like, hey, buddy.
Oh, there's no way. Well, granted, his family did leave when
Yeah,
Eric
his
started to do
family
his
did
thing.
leave.
So his family left. Topanga's family, we don't see her family. They might have still been in Pittsburgh for all we know.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, your family doesn't just walk out of the room and expect you to find them.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They go find you.
Listen, I'm just going to say it for those that know, you know, there is a teacher that is fully dedicated to saying to all seniors, this is what you're doing. You will do exactly as I tell you.
Our high school doesn't even do graduation in the school. They do it at a local concert venue.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like when schools do it inside. I like it being on the football field. That's where it's meant to be.
It's got to be outside, you know?
On Saturday, really hot.
Ours is on a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't know why.
My school went back to Thursdays, and I don't like it.
Yeah, ours is on a Tuesday night at Blossom concert venue.
Huh.
Really cool venue, but it's on a Tuesday.
Yes, but apparently it's the 90s. What's done is done. And the two of
Credit
them...
to Cory. I mean, he's very progressive.
Oh, very progressive. I like the statement being, well, the 90s is a radical time, so of course.
Yeah. But how does he not immediately say yes? Other than just being shocked at it all, how does he not immediately say yes? He knows he wants to be with Topanga forever. After that whole thing with Lauren, he's known he wants to be with her forever. How does he not immediately say yes? He hems and haws. He hems and haws after he finally gets through the shock.
I think Cory had a plan in his head of what he thought things are going to be like. I think he thought that Topanga was going to choose Yale, and the two of them were going to spend time. He'll go to Pembroke and be local. She'll go off to Yale, and they'll see each other for breaks and do long distance, and she'll graduate from Yale, and at her graduation, he'll propose. And the fact that she was proposing right there meant my plans went out the window.
Maybe. I can give that.
So, I don't know. That's just me throwing something out from my butt, in all honesty. But I do love they go to the John Adams High hallway.
The last time we're going to see, we've got to see them one last time before
the senior
before
hallway.
the series finale. Yeah,
I kind of wish
we did it in the school.
They should have gone back to the original hallway, showing that it's still there, a part of the school. Like, I don't know, maybe go back to their original locker. But yeah, they're back in the senior hallway.
Yeah, that set doesn't exist anymore, though.
No, I know it doesn't, but you know.
Yeah, nostalgia. Yeah.
But Cory's trying to say, I can't let you give up Yale, and she's trying to be like, be honest, you don't want me to go to Yale. And Cory's like, no, I don't want you to go to Yale. But I mean, it's still that complication of Cory knows what an opportunity to go to Yale means for her. And at this moment, Topanga earned the right to go to Yale. We'll learn later this season that her father went to Yale, apparently. So that downgrades in my head the acceptance to Yale.
Yeah. Now,
but
I will say the Topanga we're getting here is very free-spirited.
She is very free-spirited.
Topanga is only focused on let's get married.
Yeah,
she's not focusing
on
anything else. Not where are we going to live? How are we going to provide for ourselves? Taxes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is a very free-spirited Topanga.
Mhm.
I'm in love with him. Let's get married. Bam. That's all she's focused on.
Yeah. And
Everything else, be
she's
darned.
even considering getting married before they go off to school.
Before, yeah. Because there's going to be a honeymoon, and there's a very good chance.
Uh-huh.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Get into the knick-knack cut.
Knick-knack cut.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
well, it's kind of like the when Harry met Sally, she is experiencing the when you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, you want it to
You want
start
to
right
start
now.
now.
Yeah. But yeah, this is also where we start focusing on the honeymoon, because the honeymoon is the be-all, end-all.
See, this is why her aunt did not want George to be a force of an influence on her.
Yep, I get
Aunt
it.
Prudence. I
Yes,
do
but
find
Cory's-
it funny when Mr. Feeney comes along. I clipped
Yes.
that interaction.
I love how they're hugging each other, and all of a sudden, Mr. Feeney, congratulations! Oh my God, he knows.
Congratulations, you two.
Oh my God, he knows.
Cory, Mr. Feeney is congratulating us on graduating. So why don't you thank him?
Is there something else?
Nothing. Get off my bag.
Whatever you say.
You're a smug one, aren't you, George, huh? You know. I know you know. I don't know how you know, but I know that you know.
All right, I know. I know everything. Now, what in the world are you talking about?
Nothing. This gets out, I'll hunt you down like a dog.
Brett, I know this won't come as a surprise to you, but this is another one of my bits. I haven't done it as much as of late. It sounds weird for it to come out of the mouth of a 30-something, but teenage years,
Yeah.
college years, this quite often came out.
Nah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Someone goes, "Hey, what's going on, buddy?" "Nothing. If you ask more, I'll hunt you down like a dog." Like, what?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've mentioned this on this podcast before, Brett, but I always say to my wife, the sitcom people that are watching us, they are loving my jokes right now. You might not be loving my jokes right now, but they are loving my jokes.
You're like a young George Costanza.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, Brett, as I go, my jokes are for sitcoms. Boy Meets World, Big Bang Theory, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Those things have impacted me way too much.
Yes.
But yeah, I do love how the next scene is they're at Sean, Jack, and Eric's apartment. And this is the last time it'll be Sean, Jack, and Eric's apartment.
Yeah, it will.
And I love how Sean's like, "Topanga asked you to marry you. I hate you."
I was right there. I heard her.
Yeah, I do love this dual conversation going on.
The back and forth. It's a very good choice artistically. It's in my notes here. I love the choice that they have here, and points here. This Angela Trina McGee officially has joined the main cast here, so I just wanted to note that.
Yeah.
Give her that credit there.
And this is also one of the reasons I love season 6 is we start to get more of, it's not just what Cory's up to, it's what's Cory and Topanga up to, or what's Cory and Sean doing, and then what is Topanga up to. Like, there's always kind of a dual storyline going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like we're starting to get young friends a little bit.
Yeah. It really is. I mean, they wanted to age them up. They wanted to have that kind of almost Friends experience because, I mean, Friends was it. Everyone wanted the next Friends, and ABC was probably putting some pressure on them to get some sort of young Friends going on. That's the whole reason that they wanted Eric and Jack to be some of the focus last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that the advice that Sean is giving is the exact opposite advice that Angela is giving. Angela's trying to say, we need to be having
Angela's
fun.
very.
We need
Oh,
to
she's
not be
level-headed.
engaged, not trying to get married. And Sean's very clear, marry her.
You're crazy if you think you haven't already been married to her. You might as well get some presents, is what he says. I mean, I honestly gotta go with Angela's advice, though. She's just wise. She's very level-headed. I mean, she's not against them being in love. She's not against them getting married and engaged eventually. She's just also very cognizant of the fact that you're 18, you're about to go off to college.
Hmm?
You're not there yet.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them being engaged. It's a matter of how long of an engagement are they willing to have.
Exactly.
Because
in this world that we're looking at, engagement is immediately into marriage in Topanga's head.
yes, but we get a little bit more of a romanticized understanding of what engagement to marriage looks like for her.
Because they were already wearing promise rings, supposedly.
Yes, for an episode.
For an episode.
Yes, but I don't think we actually mentioned this, but so because she's not choosing Yale, she's automatically choosing Pembroke because she did get in there. So I want to make sure I make that clear. That Topanga chose Cory / Pembroke.
Yes.
But also, we learned that Sean apparently has decided he is going to go to Pembroke too.
Yeah, and here's a little bee in my bonnet, burr in my whatever you want to call it. Sean says he's taking some classes at Pembroke.
Uh-huh.
Because there's more to life than just his job. He's still keeping his job, but he's taking some classes at Pembroke. He's going to live in the dorms. You can't live on a college campus in the dorms unless you're a full-time student.
I think Sean doesn't. Coy.
Sean doesn't need to live in the dorms. He already has housing. Eric and Jack go to Pembroke and they have housing off campus. Unless Pembroke requires students, freshmen, to live in the dorms, there's no need for Sean to move into the dorms. So he's not taking some classes. Sean's a full-time student.
Brett, I don't think you're understanding. Cory got proposed to twice in one day.
Yes,
that's
he did.
A lot for him. I mean, I will say this, I do get a little annoyed because time-wise in this episode, it's literally still the last week of their high school experience.
Oh, yes.
Starting off the week, it was, I'm not going to college, I don't care. And then skip to graduation, and it's the day after. It's literally still graduation day. And he says, I changed my mind.
I could have done better.
School.
Yeah, right. I could have done better. Give the valedictorian speech in place of the valedictorian.
Yeah.
Get your diploma. Go home and decide I'm going to go ahead and accept this invitation that Pembroke extended and go be a full-time student.
Mm-hmm.
All in the span of just a couple of hours, a couple of days removed from I'm going to go full-time into this apprenticeship.
Yep. But Brett, we have to have our new season reset.
This isn't
rewind.
Just 4 months away. This is real world 4 months. The time of the episode, 4 hours. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things I do love about the beginning of this season, is we have 2 episodes that happen like simultaneously in the last
and then there's 2
season.
Months.
Yeah, and then they take a gap to get to the first day of school.
Yeah. Yeah, no, of importance, these 2 episodes are right there, and then there's a 2-month break before the next episode.
Yes. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes, but in the moment of Cory and Sean hugging, Jack and Eric walk up to seeing their brothers hugging each other. which shouldn't be weird for those two because they know how close their brothers are.
It really shouldn't be.
But we have to have the low-hanging fruit of, is Cory and Sean actually lovers?
Yeah.
And I'll also say this is where Eric is kind of transitioning a little into Joey.
Yeah.
Because he makes some pervy comments that feel very out of left field for his character.
He does devolve a bit these
There's
first
nothing more
handful of
important than
episodes.
naked ladies.
Yeah. Except for naked ladies wearing tight shirts and tight jeans.
Although I
Yeah.
will say, I love the next bit, which is,
Well,
I need you
it's
to
not-
be more supportive.
It's not entirely out of character for Eric, because how did Mr. Feeney break him out of his highbrow language?
Oh, swimsuit
Tushy for
edition.
sale.
I get it, Brett.
It's not entirely out of character for him.
Girl, right there.
Girl.
Girl.
He's always been focused on it, but it is much more in your face.
Yes. I think it's just the more of the objectification. Like, there is something from the say of, ooh, look, there's a pretty girl, but just, I'm now thinking of pretty girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Eric's support. Yeah, I did find that little bit funny. I clipped that too.
Yes.
I want you to be supportive. Sorry, I'll try. You know, this means that Sean and I are going to be roommates. What? I support that. Unbelievable. I support that. I don't believe you. I am so proud of you!
Now, again, Brett, we could have a natural transition where Cory moves into the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And so the 3-bedroom apartment all of a sudden now has 4 roommates. And so it could be fun to see, like, in an episode of, well, where is Cory going to live?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, if like we have, like, a few moments where he, like, moves his bed into the room with Eric or Sean or with Jack, and they all are fighting with each other, and none of them want to accept Cory. And then magically there's this big giant closet that, you know, they didn't realize they had. It's like, oh, we actually have a 4th room. Who knew?
Oh, who knew about that? Yeah,
Right.
It opens up right onto the balcony. Oh, that would have been awesome.
It would be funny if that was the case. But I mean, I don't mind the fact that they're going to have Cory and Sean be actual roommates in college, have the dorm experience, and blah, blah, blah. But it does bother me a little bit. That's like, because they established last season that this is a college apartment, or at least an apartment building that rents to college students. And this season kind of makes it feel like, well, other people in the community also live here. It's just a cheaper apartment building. So a lot of times,
and this
students
Jack
will take
having
some,
this-
but they don't always.
And Jack and Sean were supposed to share this apartment for the express purpose of growing together as brothers. They've only lived there for a year, so they are missing out on that as well. As much as I love Cory and Sean finally getting to be roommates,
Right.
they are missing out on that element.
Right. It's almost like they had a little sticky note that says, and Cory and Sean will be roommates finally.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they've had that on that wall in the writer's room for a long time.
Well, and I mean, I will say this is still back in the time, Brett, where to have a full-time student tuition and dorm and every room and board, it still was somewhat reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Compared to today, yes.
Yes. And Brett, of course, the moment after Sean and Cory leave, and they're like, well, how are we going to find a new roommate? Magically, Brett, a beautiful red-headed woman named Rachel, who also gave up a scholarship to Yale, apparently.
For a man.
Yeah, for a man. Comes out into the hallway and wonders, what will I do with my life now?
As Eric says, or as Eric and Jack say to each other, she pretty? That a woman. We meet Yes, we meet Rachel McGuire, played by Maitland Ward, who's joining the main cast. 244 episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful. Also in USA High. 1 episode of Home Improvement, Boston Public, White Chicks, and more. So welcome to the cast, Maitland Ward.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are only going to talk about her in that context and nothing more.
Yep, that's it.
And we shall move on from now.
Yep. I will say, complete jerk move to kick Sean out 2 months before he has to move on to campus.
Yeah.
Where is he supposed to live for 2 months?
I did wonder about that. As a kid, I didn't think anything of it, but as an adult now, I'm like, wait, so they're literally kicking him out now. Where is
I'm
he
sure
going?
he crashed at the Matthews because Cory's got the room to himself, but
Did
still,
he live
really
in Feeney's
jerk
house
move.
for a month?
I mean, really, jerk move. You know he's going to move out in 2 months' time, but just to throw all his stuff out right then and there.
No bags, just throwing it all out to the hallway. And
Just
how much stuff
tossing it
does
all
he
out.
have? For a poor kid,
He's
he's got
accumulated a lot of stuff since he moved out of the trailer park. Now, it is a funny joke to see him pitch in and help throw everything out and throw himself out.
It's hilarious. Brett, in timeline-wise of the show, it went from we'll never find a roommate to we found one, we're throwing your stuff out, they're already moved in, and he's helping us move out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he could have, slept on the couch.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, he could just crash on the couch for, transition for a while, but no. Rachel, crash on the couch, do some sort of weird transition. However, nope, we're kicking you out 2 months before you got to move, before you can move on to campus.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Is she pretty? She had a whole lot of woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it does make me giggle that Sean takes one look at Rachel and goes, okay, yeah, I can move out for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope that the Matthews would have taken him in for the 2 months that...
I'm sure they did.
Or, I mean, if the trailer park still has his trailer, because sometimes his parents take it, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, I'm assuming since Chet blows into town later this season with it, that Chet probably has it. So I'm just going to assume my headcanon, he just crashes with the Matthews for 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, technically Feeney is away, so I mean, could Feeney trust him enough to let him stay at his house?
Until it gets sold. Because Eric is clearly keeping people from wanting to be buying the house.
Right.
Anyway.
Yes. I do love the next little bit we have as we transition to the Matthews backyard. And Cory and Topanga are both kind of looking at each other like, hey, your friend was doing this. Did you tell? And I still feel they both go, I would never.
Great way to start off a marriage, lying to each other.
Yeah. And within seconds, it's, hey, you told him? Oh, of course I told him. You told him? Of course I told him. You told her? Of course.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love how the back and forth, and Alan immediately just goes, okay, someone tell me what's going on.
That's exactly where my clip comes in.
Here's where I'm dead.
I thought we were going to decide this together.
Well, I was going to discuss it.
Hey, you knew about it too?
You told Angela?
You told Sean.
Tell me.
You didn't tell me? Everybody, got this new roommate. She is fun! All right. I'd kind of like to know what is going on now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got a new roommate. She is fine.
I love how that's what sends him over the edge. Yeah, so Cory starts to explain that he and Topanga are now engaged, and Sean is being very supportive. Angela is not.
Yes, yes.
And they're both going,
Sean's
what idiot thought this was a good idea? And Cory's trying to take the blame, and Topanga won't let her, or let him. And
Mhm.
apparently Morgan's also been proposed to.
Yeah, which, doesn't surprise me, fairly common. Sean's, they're not like us. They're hopelessly in love, putting his foot in the
Yes.
mouth.
Yes, a lot of foot in mouth. I love that Amy asks the very reasonable question. Have you thought of the responsibilities you're going to have?
Mhm. Yeah.
Angela, no, they haven't.
And I love Alan's advice that he gives them. I clipped his advice. Between this episode and the next, I'm going to love a lot of what Alan and Amy had to say.
Topanga and I
No,
are
you
just
think you know what you want from your life, huh? You think you've got it all figured out. Well, things don't always turn out the way you plan. So if you're going to do this, you better prepare to make sacrifices.
It's very brief, but he's very, very firm with Cory. And Cory is very head in the clouds about all this.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still talking the same day. We're still talking the day of graduation here. All of this stuff is still happening the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all brand new and stuff. And yeah, Alan's probably coming down a little harder than he should.
Yeah.
But he's also being very realistic with Cory in that he's saying, look, this in reality is a lot more work than you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be sacrifices involved. You can't just do, and this plays out again in season 7 when they finally do get married.
Yep.
This whole piece is going to be there again, and we're going to get to watch it play out.
Well, and I think some of the acting choices they make in this moment too is very interesting because I think they're very conflicted. Because I think on one hand they're happy for them because they're making a choice, but on the same token they're scared for them. And in that scaredness, Amy kind of, for lack of better wording, kind of goes on an attack towards Alan because of how aggressive he's coming into this.
Yeah.
I do love, it's like, what sacrifices you made, Alan? He turns, what? What do you mean we're not in love? Sean, what? Like, chaos just immediately erupts.
It's a fantastic scene from beginning to end, from the initial you told him all the way through as they leave, as everyone's kind of bickering back and forth because their piece of advice or their moment of pithy awareness really backfired on them in a way they didn't intend. And just all of this chaos is I love the scene from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm. And let's define for a moment, Brett, what engagement really is.
Mm-hmm.
And getting engaged is just it's a statement of saying we are committing to each other with the goal of marriage.
Yes.
How that looks like is dependent upon every single individual couple. Some couples get engaged and immediately want to get married and immediately can have the finances to be able to make it happen, or they don't care about having a big fancy wedding. They just literally go get it done immediately. God bless you. Good for you. There are people who are engaged and have been engaged for years, decades even, that the commitment of engagement is enough for them of, yeah, someday we'll get married, but we're not worried about that part. So it really comes down to what it means for Cory and Topanga to be engaged in this moment. And I think, unfortunately, because the show's focus is engaged means we're getting married so we can have a wedding episode, the focus is not how are they still going to date each other, plan towards a wedding, or plan towards a eventual date, or just the fact that they're committing to each other, they're going to be together, and eventually they will get married. What does that mean for them?
Yeah, the show has taken engagement and turned that into a shorthand for getting married.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my wife and I were engaged for a year and a half. Like, outside of the fact we were planning a wedding, our dating relationship didn't change.
Mm-hmm.
We just had a
Yep.
event we were planning on top of everything.
Yeah, we were engaged for about 8 months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's still a respectable amount of time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I will also say, when both of us got married, was a little bit more on the younger side, but still not as young as they are as they're engaged. So, I mean, it's not that unreal. It's not that oh gosh, tongue tied. It's not out of the question for a young couple like this to get engaged and agree to wait till they graduate college to get married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is probably what they should have done, but
Yeah.
whatever.
But everyone jumps off the handle because in the interpretation, engaged means married right away. Because
Right.
that's how the show is interpreting engagement.
Yes. Did Michael Jacobs ever get engaged and get married? I question all of his understanding of life.
Michael doesn't understand college, so he doesn't understand marriage either.
Yes. But of course, we have one of our classic moments where Eric shows that he is wiser than he lets people on to.
Except
Because
for his reasons for getting married.
Right. Well, he realizes that they're not there.
Yes.
So he mostly wants to draw the attention to, hey, they left.
Yeah. Which he's the one that points that out. And he does manage at times to calm everyone. Mm-hmm. His reasons for getting married are absolutely atrocious.
Of course.
Because she's going to dry up in a few years. But he is successful in calming everyone down a couple of times.
Right.
I said, hey, calm down.
I said, calm down, you. Yeah. And Morgan gets a couple of actual lines this episode, too. It's crazy.
Yes. We're going to get to see more lines from Morgan this year. We're going to get a whole episode where she gets a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Not too far away.
Cory and Topanga are on the road, Brett, because they're in a car and they're going to a little chapel in the countryside and they're getting married.
Seems like Topanga might be having some second thoughts.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But
what happens when you go to college and you see everyone else and what they're doing?
Well, it's the slight annoyance of we're engaged. We're going to go get married no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you could wait. You don't have to get married right now.
Mm-hmm.
But Cory is gung-ho very intensely. We're getting married.
Mm-hmm.
And now Topanga is wondering, ooh, did I push him too far?
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I think there is something to be said about when you're in a committed relationship and like you're upset about something and then the person that loves you dearly and doesn't want you to be hurting gets even more upset. And you realize at a certain point of like, oh, I might have set them off too far.
Yeah, I might have pushed a little bit too much.
Like, they're both angry for me, but also they are now feeling the righteous justice anger of 1,000 sins.
Ah, yes. And going back to everyone back home, Alan realizing that he acted just like his father did when he and Amy got married. We get a little bit of backstory there. We see where Alan's anger and his short temper come from.
Mm-hmm. Well, he wouldn't listen whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, he says, sorry. He was stubborn, totally set against it. Wouldn't listen to anything we had to say. Oh boy.
Yep. Face in the hands. Oh man. Yeah.
I do love as they're all going back and forth and kind of making clear of like, well, we all play a part in this.
So let's talk about Judge Bemis and Foofy.
Yes, let's do that. Although I will say, Brett, I do love that Eric realizes at one point, like, oh my gosh, I left Rachel alone with Jack. And as they
Yeah.
go, Alan locks the door behind him. So who is Judge Bemis?
Judge Bemis is played by Bill Murray. This is the first of 2 appearances we'll get from him on Boy Meets World. 88 acting credits, including Kojak, Mannix, Mork and Mindy, Happy Days, Moonlighting, Hill Street Blues, Just the 10 of Us, Full House, and more. This was one of his last roles in Hollywood, and he did pass away in 2003.
Fair.
His on-screen wife, Foofy, is played by Connie Sawyer. This is her first of 2 appearances on Boy Meets World. No surprise, their second appearance for both of them is in part 2. 152 acting credits for her, including The Donna Reed Show, The Fugitive, the TV series, not the movie, The Andy Griffith Show, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Kojak, Welcome Back Kotter, Hawaii Five-0, the original, not the CBS remake from a few years ago, Dynasty, Matlock, Murder, She Wrote, Dumb and Dumber, Home Improvement, Seinfeld, How I Met Your Mother, New Girl, and others. Most of those later ones, she was credited as Old Woman.
Yeah, fair.
Just fun. She did pass away in 2019.
I do love her saying, "They're so young, Henry."
She bawls like a baby all the time. Stop it.
Their marriage is clearly super healthy.
Oh, yes, clearly. Their marriage has clearly been going on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun. They're fun.
Yes, but now we're back to Topanga is ready, but Cory is now nervous.
Yes, they're ping-ponging back and forth.
Mm-hmm. I kind of do like this of, while at the same time they're saying, yes, let's get married now, they're both feeling this awkward, like, is this right for us?
Mm-hmm. And they really should take a beat, if they were more mature, they'd take a beat and say, if we're feeling this, then we really should just take a step back and say, let's put a pause on this.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not there yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, Brett, we get a little Jack and Rachel talking to each other, because now we're at Jack, Eric, and Rachel's apartment.
Yes.
No longer the guy's apartment.
No. Now there's Rachel on the lease. Well, she will be eventually. I mean, it's only been one day.
Yeah.
It's only been half a day.
Apparently, Jack is telling her that he and his brother typically are the only way to work out their problems is to wrestle each other. And Rachel says, "Oh, that's what me and my sister did." And Jack says, "Well, you can always wrestle me if you need to." And Rachel
She
takes
takes
him
him up on
offer.
it. Yeah, that's a great way to.
But clearly
get along with you.
establishing that she might be a little stronger than him.
Well, she's certainly taller, so she's got the reach advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And Eric walks in and is a little upset.
He kind of sounds like Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's sitting on me, man.
Yeah, it starts immediately, the Eric and Jack competing for Rachel's attention.
But she immediately squashes that idea, flat out stating that she's not interested in any romantic tension.
Mm-hmm.
That she's just happy that they're going to be like a bunch of girlfriends living together.
Mm-hmm.
Which Eric doesn't really understand what girlfriends are like when they live together, but, Eric's got his idea.
I think he understands pretty well. They sleep together, they take baths together, and sometimes they see each other naked. And Jack makes it very clear, we already do that.
So you're saying Jack and Eric are girlfriends. All right.
Well, okay, but if they still would have access to things like the school's workout facility, right?
Yes.
So they're at the workout facility, and it's one of those weird. The shower is open. Whoever's there takes the shower. They might just take showers side by side, and they're friends enough that they don't think about it. When they need to, have they fallen asleep in the same bed or near each other on the couch? Probably.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It means very clear that these two are closer than a lot
They
of other
are
relationships
best
they've had.
friends.
Yep.
Yeah. But
But
we'll get a lot of that.
we get to probably now, Brett, the best scene, I think, in the whole episode. It's them in the backyard
Yep.
reflecting on what happened and what could be happening.
Yes. And everyone is kind of taking their turn, taking the blame for it. And they get to Angela, and she simply states, "Hey, I told them to wait. I said the right thing." I'm just sitting there watching, like, you go, Angela.
Mm-hmm. Did you happen to clip what Feeney says?
I did not clip it.
Oh,
I
that's
did.
all right.
I did. Yeah, I did write it down that, they've been brought up well and they will be fine. I'm curious if he thought, does he think that they will marry and be okay? Or does he think they won't go through with it?
I think either way, he supports them.
Mm-hmm.
But I like what he says. Cory and Topanga aren't in the first grade, or sorry. Blah, 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 blah. You can't tell Cory and Topanga what to do. I've been trying to do that since the first grade. I remember when I tried to separate their desks. She kicked me, he bit me, and some little punk kept saying, "Leave me alone. They should get married."
I was cute then.
Yeah. Precious.
Yeah. It is heartbreaking when Amy realizes that she can't be at the wedding, and she, as she's realizing it out loud, that she won't be at her son's wedding.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. Everyone that talks about, and there's always, when planning a wedding, at some point you go, let's just elope, let's just do it. But there's going to be someone that you're like, I wish this person would have been there.
Mm-hmm.
And whether right or wrong, Amy wants to be there for those important moments.
Oh, yeah.
So I love that the wedding begins, and it feels wrong.
Mm-hmm. It does. It really does. There's an air of uncertainty. You can see it on everyone's faces.
And Fufi goes back to, they're so young, Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just give their money back?
Their money back.
That would be a nice gesture.
Lovely gesture. Yeah.
But we're stuck on Brett. Do you take this person to be your spouse?
Cory says, I always have, I always will, I do. He's all ready. But Topanga is just can't answer. And that's where we end. To be continued.
This is almost in a way like a 3-part episode.
It really is. This is part 2 of 3.
Mm-hmm.
No, almost about it. This is part 2 of 3. Because graduation ended on a cliffhanger. This ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's this episode. Tyler, do you have deep dives?
Episode.
Yeah, do you have deep dives for us?
Let's see what I got. Yeah.
People. Am I the only one who read the summer reading list?
All right, Brett, let's see what we got here. Well, let's start here. So one thing that always sticks out to me is when Eric returns and he goes, "Ah!" He always says, I'm walking back into your sumo fest. I just looked up Sumo Fest. What pops up? And apparently there is a sumofest.com, and it's short for Sumo Festival. It is apparently in Cavendish, PA. PE? I don't know where that is. Cavendish, Prince Edward Islands. Yeah, Prince Edward's Island. I don't know where that is. I don't know what that is. Apparently, the next festival is September 13th, 14th in 2005. Headlined by Alain Morissette. Yes, so if you are connected to Full House, watch out. All right.
That would be in Canada.
Interesting. Let's talk about Philly rent, Brett. I have here the years roughly of different rent in the areas of Philadelphia. So, 1965, University City was $100. Just a couple years later, 1983, $400 around Washington Square. 210 in Rittenhouse Square. 140 in Garden Court. 350 Fiddler Square. Anyone from that area will know these much better, I believe. 1989 is 350 in Wishikan. 22 block of St. James. So 19, we'll go with, I'll give you the number for 1997 and 2000. And also 2002 because it makes it easier. So one place, Spruce Hill, was $275. There's a place, 2-bath split with a roommate, $925 in Westmount Erie. And then 2002 in University City, back to that area, you're looking at $400 for a 2-bedroom. So, pretty reasonable through most of the time period until you get to, mid 2000s, late 2000s. And, today, the last pricing is back to University City, about $1,400. So a bit of a jump.
A little bit.
Yeah, little bit. Yeah. I think we should highlight Madeline Ward just a little bit more, if that's okay. The big thing I just want to say is that she did get several awards as a soap opera star. 1995, nominated for Outstanding Female Newcomer for the Brave and the Beautiful. Young Artist Award, Best Performance by a Youth Actress in Daytime Series, Best Performance by a Young Actress in Daytime Series. Nominated in 1998 again. So she was becoming a pretty big deal in that soap opera sphere. So getting her was a bit of a big deal for them.
Yeah, she was a pretty big get. Yeah.
I got two more. So let's talk about how Gen Z and a little bit of millennials is shifting the expectation of marriage, Brett.
Ah.
Apparently, in this demographic, 2 and 5 think marriage is an outdated tradition. About 41% of men and 52% of females. 73% feel it's too expensive to get married in current economy, and 85% don't think marriage is necessary to have fulfilled and committed relationship. So the most marriage-airy cities. These are the cities with the most unmarried couples living together in the United States. Brett, do you want to take a guess? I have 30 cities. You want to give me like 3 names and see if we can hit any of them?
For most married or most unmarried?
Most unmarried.
Most unmarried. Let's see. Let's go Vegas. Is that on the 30?
Vegas. That would be a good guess. Unfortunately, Brett, I do not see Vegas. Although Reno, Nevada, number 9.
How about Portland?
Portland is number 4.
Haha. Let's stick in the Pacific Northwest. How about Seattle?
Seattle is number 2. Very good, Brett.
All right.
So let's go through some notable ones. Shout out Durham, 28. San Francisco, 24. Boston, 23. Pittsburgh, 18. 17 is Buffalo. Orlando, 13. Your neck of the woods, Brett, Columbus, number 11. I'll go through the top 10. St. Petersburg, Florida. Reno, we already had that one. Madison, Wisconsin. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Number 6, Brett's going to surprise you maybe, but Cleveland, Ohio.
You know, that doesn't surprise me.
Number 5, Minnesota. You hit number 4. Portland. Spokane, Washington, number 3. You hit Seattle. And number 1, Brett, Toledo.
That does surprise me, being the number 1.
I was trying to do any other fun statistics I wanted to mention, but there's really not. So, Brett, let's go to Watch Mojo's top 20 TV proposal scenes, Brett.
Okay.
You want to throw out a couple of proposals, and I'll tell you if it's on the list or not?
Well, if it's Watch Mojo, then Monica and Rachel on Friends, or Monica and Chandler on Friends has got to be on there.
Yes. Would you like to take a crack at what number?
No.
Number
I'm just gonna
1.
say it's on there. It's that one.
Monica and Chandler. Yep, number 1.
Okay. Is Cory and Topanga on there?
Cory and Topanga, number 6.
Number 6. All right. What else would be on Watch Mojo's list? I'm trying to think of what else would be there. My brain's kind of mush. Just give me the rest of the list.
That's okay. Here, we'll start with the honorable mentions, because these are all fun. Honorable mentions. Apparently, Dexter and Rita from Dexter. Mitch and Cam from Modern Family.
Okay.
Booth and Bones from Bones. Snow White and Prince Charming from Once Upon a Time. Matt and Julie from Friday Night Lights. So starting off at number 20, Brett, we have Leonard and Penny, Big Bang Theory.
Which one, though?
I believe it's when they officially are engaged.
Okay.
The real one with the ring.
Okay.
I mean, they are the couple that cried engagement.
Yes.
Charlotte and Harry from Sex and the City. Jim and Pam from The Office.
That high up. That high up, huh? Okay.
Jackson and April from Grey's Anatomy. I know, whatever.
Yeah, never watched it.
Luke and Lorelai from Gilmore Girls.
Mm-hmm. Surprises me that's that high on the list or that low on the list and not higher.
Yeah, you think so. This is kind of a crime. At 15, Schmidt and Cece from The New Girl. You'll like this one, Brett. Barry and Iris from The Flash.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Nathan and Haley from One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
Glenn and Maggie from The Walking Dead. I know you're a big Deadhead.
Yeah, never seen a full episode.
Yeah, the episode that I was introduced to that show was the episode where someone dies when they gave birth to someone.
No, that's not traumatic at all.
This is a great show for me to be watching. Yeah, Mary and Matthew from Downton Abbey. I know you're a big Downton Abbey fan, Brett.
Oh yeah, totally. Another show I never miss an episode of.
Oh, here's one you will know. Niles and Daphne from Frasier.
Yeah, classic.
That's number 10, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, Leslie and Ben from Parks and Rec.
Yep.
That is a great engagement.
It is.
Number 8, Derek and Meredith, Grey's Anatomy. It's not a bad proposal. Chuck and Blair from Gossip Girl.
Again.
Cory and Topanga, number 6, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, I don't know why it's here. I don't like it. I never liked this relationship, but Kurt and Blaine from Glee.
Yeah. Didn't watch enough Glee to even get to that one.
Oh, it's a good first season of a show.
Yeah, I didn't even make it to the first season. The first episode was good, but beyond that, I didn't really stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Toby's seen the whole series.
A disappointing ending, but a nice engagement. Barney and Robin from How I Met Your Mother.
Mm.
Michael and Holly from The Office, number 3. This is a little surprising that it's so high up for this list, but I like it. Jake and Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That is surprising that for them it's that high.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, Monica and Chandler from Friends.
Yep.
And again, this is a Watch Mojo list, so don't be mad at Brett and me for...
It's not our list. It's Watch Mojo.
It's
half of those wouldn't have made the list because I don't watch half of those shows if it were my list.
Well, and half of them are just trash.
Yeah. Anyway.
Those are the deep dives, Brett.
That's nice.
I will say, it was a weird episode for deep dives because, they're reacting to what happened last time.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of jokes, but not a whole lot of, real things to look into.
Well, let's talk about what we learned then.
Okay.
You know anything about the Odyssey? Huh? Did I say you could talk?
I didn't teach you that.
My friend Mr. Matthews will lead the discussion.
Do I have to draw you a picture?
Well, what I learned from not necessarily Mr. Feeney, but listen before you speak. You might have some sound, solid wisdom to share, but listen before you share it. Give a beat. Let some breath happen. Let some cooler heads prevail if they need to. Just listen before you speak.
Yeah.
What about you, Tyler? What did you learn?
Well, I think the best lesson I could possibly learn is help your child understand what it means to be engaged and help them understand that it's a process. It's not you just get married. Yeah, I think that's the best I got right now.
All right. Well, in that case,
I'm right.
No, you're exactly right.
So am I done with my education? Can I go?
how would you grade his answer, Tyler? Part 2 of 3.
I think I have to go with a solid B minus. Like this is always an episode I love watching because there's a good amount of silliness to it. We're introduced to new concept, new way of telling story, and I love the dilemma that they're put into, and just some of the jokes really do hit really, really well. Some of the leaps in logic I cannot get behind. I normally can forgive the reset pilot each season, but since the reset pilot literally is supposed to be like 20 minutes after the last time we saw this crew, it's hard to accept the new status quo.
Yeah.
It almost would have been better to have the first episode be them moving into college and then reflecting back to what happened afterwards. That would be more acceptable than what we actually got.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to give it a C plus. It's trying to do too many things. I mean, there's good stuff in it, but it's trying to do too many things at once. It's trying to soft reboot for a new season. It's trying to continue threads from the previous season. And it's just, there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of leaps in logic that are just too much to get by. But at the same time, there's good stuff there to be had. There's good stuff with Cory and Topanga. There's good stuff with Cory and Sean. There's good stuff with Alan and Amy and Cory. And it sets up good stuff for next week for the conclusion. Because it's part 2 of 3. Part 2 of 3 is always going to suffer no matter what it's in. Because you're not setup, you're not conclusion. Or you're not premiere, you're not conclusion. You're all setup. Mm-hmm. So, and being set up while also setting up an entire season, you're kind of doomed to mediocre at best. So C plus for me.
Yep, that's fair.
All right. So I believe you've got a dad joke or two for me.
I do. I'll say I've got a couple of short dad joke for you, Brett. They all got to do around the concept of engagement, because why not?
All right.
All right, the first one, Brett, is I tried to propose with a pizza, but it was too cheesy.
But I'm bummed.
All right. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go with this one, Brett, because of funny. My girlfriend finally proposed. I'm so excited. I've already started collecting ideas for the wedding and the divorce settlement. Let's. Well, I give you one more. I'm not really liking the one I just saw. All right, let's try this one. My friend got engaged, and I'm so happy for them. But now I have to figure out what to wear to the wedding, which is a real dress rehearsal of stress.
Alrighty then. Well, good looking people. Thanks for sticking around and for starting season 6 with us. We are excited to have you on this journey as Cory, Topanga, and the gang explore adulthood.
Yeah.
You can send us your thoughts at dadsmeetworld at gmail.com, or you can find us on social media at dadsmeetworld across Twitter /X, Facebook, or Instagram. We're always pretty active there. And you can always leave a review or a rating for us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen to us. I checked recently. We've got a couple of 5 stars on Apple, a couple of 4 stars on Spotify. So always good. That helps the algorithm share us with other people. Oh, you know we love sharing the dad love.
Yeah.
So until next time, I'll see you good looking.
Back to you, good looking.
You know, how can I learn so much every week and still be so stupid?
Read the Bible.
I want to be normal, spud. Was that duckies? No, garbage.
We are the Timmers.
This is good TV.
Dads Meet World is a production of Head First Studios. Head First Studios. Tell your story.
I hear some hissing. Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol.
Be there on the double.